Guys, Marco here, welcome back to another lesson. Today we're going to talk about writing a song, writing music. And I'm going to show you how we can use somebody else's song to write our own. Now, I'm not in any way possible talking about ripping off somebody else's work. I'm not talking about copying somebody else's song. I'm talking about getting inspired by the songs that you like, so that then you can put in the work and analyze what's in there that you really like, so that then you can come up with your own ideas. Now, it's a very creative process. You have to put in a little bit of work, but it's just a beautiful way to really, get inspired and come up with your own ideas. Now, we're gonna touch 3 songs. 2 are really famous, the Beatles and Ed Sheeran. Third one is less famous, probably not famous at all as one of my songs, which I'm gonna break down and then show you how you can change things around so that it becomes your song. So, you can get the tab for everything that I play, check my Patreon page, and subscribe to this channel if you want to keep up with all the upcoming lessons. Now let's have a close-up and let's get started. Alright guys, now the very first song we're going to learn from is Blackbird by the Beatles. Now, we already know the song. If you don't know the song, just go on YouTube and listen to it. It's a beautiful song. Paul McCartney, really great arpeggio. Now I'm only going to play 4 chords. This is all we need, 4 chords. We can analyze these 4 chords and then figure out what's going on. Why this song is so catchy? Well, you got 2 things that are great. The chords in 10th. So I'm playing G major, A minor, G over B, and then G major up here. And I'm playing the root note and the 3rd, but the 3rd is played 1 octave higher. And so it's an interval of a 10th. The distance between the note G and the note B is 10 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to do the same with the A minor, which is A and C. The same thing with G over B, which is B and D. Alright? So I'm playing those beautiful open triads. Now the second thing is that for each chord that I'm playing, I'm also alternating and playing the G string open. Now this is great because we can create this pedal tone between the chords, and it kind of, we're in the key of G major, so the G kind of works for every chord that we're playing. So once I know these 2, I kind of analyzed and learned these 2 elements from the song, I can then come up with something different. So I can go from playing Blackbird to playing my song, okay? Now this is just a very simple example. I just developed the chords. I have G, A minor, G over B, and I move to the C major. So I'm not jumping to the G as Blackbird. I'm actually playing C major, 3 and 5. Then D major, 5 and 7. E minor, 7 and 8. D major over F sharp, 9 and 10. And G major, 10, 12. For every chord I play the G string open, so I create the same pedal tone. A minor, 12, 13. G major, D over F sharp, E minor, C major, D, and G. How cool is this? Now, this is not Blackbird anymore, like nobody, like the Beatles can't really come to you and say, hey, this is my song because it sounds like Blackbird. Now, we can also change the first 3 chords. We don't necessarily have to play this. We could play that's it. I also got rid of the first 3 notes that are actually from Blackbird. So G major, G over B, and then we go to C. We could also play completely different chord progression. I mean, this is cool. We started with Blackbird, now we're just using the chords from the song. We're only ripping off the chord, you know, this open triad, but it's not the song anymore, and you know, you can come up with stuff that is your music out of this song. So, very cool example. Now, next example, Ed Sheeran, Photographs. Beautiful song. We have a very simple chord progression. Song is in E major, and it sounds like this. We have E major, C sharp minor, B major, and the A major. So the very first element that I like about this song, that I want to take from this song, is this beautiful cluster, this beautiful riff between the note D sharp on the B string fret number 4 and the top E string open. So this is D sharp and E. It's a semitone, it's a cluster. And it works beautifully on an E major chord, on the C sharp minor chord, on the B major chord, and on the A major chord. So I can already change the chord progression and come up with something that sounds like this. So I just changed the rhythm. The chords last for 4 counts now, so they last longer. And I changed the riff. I'm using the same element, which is obviously the cluster between the D sharp and the E. But I can make it even more interesting and different if I reorganize the chord progression. And so I could play like this. Very simple. We still kind of, you know, get inspired by Ed Sheeran's song, but we're not playing the song anymore. We're actually playing our music. Then you can take it to the next level if you want and just completely transform it, and just keep the same cluster, but maybe develop more on the chords. Now I was improvising something, so just to try different things, you know, and when you find the things that you really like, then you have it. It's your song. Now guys, the last example is with one of my songs, which sounds like this. Now the two things that I really like about this music is, just like Ed Sheeran, we are playing with this beautiful cluster between the D sharp and E. And the second thing is that the chords are symmetrical, meaning, you know, they have the same shape. You have fret number 4 with the C sharp minor, you have fret number 7 with the E major, and fret number 12 with the A major chord. So it's kind of pretty easy to play, and the melody really kind of runs between the B string and the top A string. So how can you change this to make it your own? You could, for example, like change the chord progression, use the same principle of symmetrical chord. So what I've done here, just played C sharp minor. I'm kind of changing the arpeggio from here to just a very simple A major, E, 3 and 4 and A, and I just changed the last chord. You know, sometimes you gotta change a little bit. So just 7 and 9, just an E major chord, same shape as, you know, the blackbird chord. You can also add, for example, additional chords such as the B major, for example. So different rhythm, different way of picking the strings, but kind of the same approach, different chord progression. All right. Now, obviously, you don't want to be too smart. You know, you don't want to look too smart and just kind of change one thing. Like if you play this, so I'm just double plucking the B string. You know, that doesn't really work. You kind of have to really change some of the things within the chord progression, but it's still way better than just, you know, sample somebody else's music. Just write your own stuff and learn from the chord progressions that you like. Learn from them, analyze the chords, and then come up with your own ideas. So I hope that this video is helpful, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.